seen this design on a man's senator wear? Well, consider this as a privilege to see how this design is made. Welcome to Couple Crush. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to make this wonderful but unique design on a senator's wear. So consider subscribing to this channel because you are going to learn a lot from man's wear or a woman's wear. I'm going to be uploading videos that is so educational. So kindly hit on the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Let us move along together as we make this beautiful design on the senator wear. First method, get a strap of the length of the actual design that you're going to make, and make sure that you multiply it by 3. Take for instance, you are using 20 inches as it is the case in my own, so you have to multiply 20 times 3, which is 60 inches. So here with me I have a long strap. It is very long, so I really do not need to drag it. So it is 60 inches strap by 3 inches because I want the width of my design to be 2 inches. As such, I have to use 3 inches width so that when I actually finish it up by ½ inch on both sides, I would at the end have the actual 2 inches that I need. So after that, you need to calibrate your fabric. How you do that is depend on the width of the plate that you want. If you want an ½ inch, you need to mark out ½ inch and 1 inch until you get to the end of the fabric. Before you start it, make sure to leave about 3 inches at the top of the fabric before you start the marking. That means your marking is going to start from 3 inches. If you do not really want the design to go up to the neck part of the senator wear, so this is what we're going to do throughout the whole strap that we have here. So this is what I'm trying to explain here. As you can see, I have left about 3 inches from the top part of it, and I'm starting my marking at 3 inches point, and I have a 1 inch interval here. Then the next line falls at ½ inch. The next one is 1 inch, ½ inch, 1 inch, ½ inch, until the end of the strap. So step 1, after marking, what you need to do, the first method that you're going to use is to use your 2 hands and pick up this cloth this way using your 2 hands. I'm sorry, I cannot do that with my 2 hands at the moment because I'm not using any camera stand here, so I'm really using one of my hands as to hold my camera. So when you pick it up from this point, when you pick your fabric up from the first point, you need to place it on this line here. When you place it on the line, you pin it up. Then you pick the second point here, that's the ½ inch point, place it on the line, pin it up. You skip this other line, pick it up, place it this way, and pin it up. Let me see if I can get a camera stand so that I can explain it more. So after pinning it up, this is what I have here. I've just done a few shots to show you how it looks like. Sorry, I couldn't get a camera stand, so we have to move. So this is what I have done so far. I picked it up, place it up, and then pin it up. I keep doing that and until you exhaust all your calibrations on the fabric. So after that, the next thing is for you to iron it down flat. When you iron it down flat, you may choose to remove the pins or you may choose to run a thread on it. So let me just do a few and iron it, then I'll show you what it looks like afterward. So after that, this is what we have here. It's already looking nice. You can see the pleats coming out very nicely. So what you need to do is to run a stitch here on both ends. Then after that, you will now lift up this point here. After running a stitch, you lift up this point, that's the middle point, and run a stitch. You keep lifting each of this up. When you lift it up, you keep running a stitch on it, and then it's going to come out nicely. After that, I'm going to show you how it looks like. So let's move over to the second method. In case you feel that this one is stressful, let's now go to the second method. So in this second method, you may want to calibrate it by 0.5 all together. That means you're not going to skip it. You're not going to make it 1 inch and 0.5 as it was in the case of the other method. Or you may likely choose to make it 1 inch at interval, but I prefer 0.5 inches, because when you are folding it over to stitch it on a machine, you are going to know precisely where to run your stitch on. So in this method, after your calibration, all you need to do is to pick it up. Remember, you're going to calibrate on the right side, so all you need to do is to hold it up this way. Now here is what I have done. You hold it up this way, just pick it up this way on the line. Okay, so after picking it up this way on the line, all you need to do is to place it on your machine, and you see this line here, you are going to stitch on this second line. This is the 0.5 inch stitch. There are some machines that are calibrated. Take for instance this machine that I am working with here. So if you can see it clearly, here is the machine that I am working with, and if you look at the plates here, sorry, let me just demonstrate something for you. If you look at the plates here, it really has significance. For instance, this very line here indicates that my stitch is on 1 inch. That means the distance from here to the needle is 1 inch. So if I'm going to stitch on an inch, if I want to have an inch stitch, it will not be difficult for me because I have my calibration here. So all I need to do is to place my fabric up to this point and then continue stitching on this point. Let me show you what I mean. Alright, let's assume I want to stitch this fabric on an inch seam allowance. So all I need to do is to place my fabric this way. Sorry, I'm trying to focus this. I'm trying to focus the camera so that you can get what I'm trying to explain here. Alright, so I'm going to place my fabric this way in such a way that the edge of the fabric touches this last line that I have here. So I will go ahead and lower my footer this way, ensuring that the edge of the fabric lies on the last line there, because it is an inch line. So I will go ahead and run a straight stitch while watching this edge of this fabric. Actually, I will not need to concentrate on the needle point, so I'm going to just be watching the plate while ensuring that my fabric do not shift from this 1 inch point. So after that, I'll just keep monitoring, then run the stitch, and that is just going to be an inch stitch, and I have succeeded in creating an inch seam allowance. So when it comes to this second line here, you can see it here, 7 all over 8. That means that this is 7 over 8 inch. How should I call this? Yeah, 7 over 8. I think it doesn't really have. Then at this point here, this other line here, I hope you're seeing what I'm showing you, shows that I am having a 3/4 inch. So at this line, so if I want to stitch on 3/4, I'm sorry that my camera keeps shifting, I just want it to be focused. Okay, if I want to stitch on a 3/4, this is where I will actually stitch on, and so on and so forth. So in this case that we are making this design, here is my 1/2 inch. So all I need to do is to place my fabric on 1/2 inch line. Then I will now I will lower my footer. Then I will go ahead and stitch. As I'm stitching, that is just exactly 1/2 inch. I'm sorry that I cannot stitch now because as I said earlier, I don't have a camera stand and no one to move the camera for me, so I have to explain it. Hoping that you're going to put this into practice. So thank you for bearing with me. So at this point, I have created some pleats, so to speak. I have done what I explained earlier. So I have stitched here 1/2 inch, then I folded it over this other way, stitch 1/2 inch, folded it over this other way, stitch 1/2 inch, and so on and so forth. So the next thing is to place it this way. If you want the pleats to fall on this other side, then you have to wave it to this other side and iron it. Then if you want the pleats to fall on this other side, then all you need to do is to wave it to this other side and iron it. After that, you can stitch these edges as in the other method. Just stitch the edges and then pick up the center point and run a stitch down so as to make this design. I hope you have learned something interesting, something very important. So after everything, I'm going to show you how it looks like. Thank you very much for being there. Thank you for staying tuned. Please kindly subscribe to this channel. I have more for you. Thank you. Bye bye for now.